Felicity and Shailene. How are you both doing today?
Great.
Good, thank you.
Lovely. What was interesting about the last letter from your lover, because of a literal time difference, you guys didn't actually get to share any scenes together. So I suppose my first question for both of you was, did you get a chance to kind of meet one another and chat and hang out a bit, either during the production or at least afterwards?
We did a tiny weeny bit. We all got together at the beginning of the shoot with the whole cast. With Augustine organised a little party for everyone, and then we'd see each other sort of fleetingly throughout the shoot. But it was really sad that we never had any scenes together, because so much of wanting to work with Shailene, because she's so brilliant, and it was a little disappointing to not get to share a scene together, but I hope we do get to do that in the future at some point.
Absolutely. And at least you have this junket now. Hopefully you'll get to know each other a little more through that as well. That's nice.
Exactly.
Junkets are a great time for bonding.
Yeah.
One of the things that really struck me and was such a strong theme in this movie was about new and old forms of both communication and miscommunication, really. So I was wondering, for each of you, what are your own stances when it comes to, letter writing versus texts and calls, etc., when it comes to kind of forming that contact and connection?
I'm a big believer in letters. Still to this day, I think I send maybe 2 to 5 letters a week to people.
Wow.
I think that there's something that's so special about receiving something in the mail, and it's like the greatest gift we can give each other is our time. And I feel like taking the time to write a letter and send something, even reading a letter, it means so much to me, and maybe that's why I still love doing it. But in terms of connecting with people, I find that something that's tangible is always more meaningful than something that's maybe technical or something that's even verbally said. That's my love language. What about you, Felicity?
Yeah, I think when you're writing a letter, you're so much more open and vulnerable and honest, in a way that an email always just generally feels a little bit more businesslike. And there's also, I think, with email, the fear that someone somewhere is reading it,
Yes.
somewhere someone is watching. So I mean, unfortunately, I don't get to write as many letters as I would like to, but I do like to send little note cards, and just as Shailene said, you've got to make sure you find the time to really let people know that you care, and somehow by doing that, by putting pen to paper, it always does that. You always notice people go, I can't believe that you wrote that, so lovely. So I definitely think we should bring back as much letter writing as possible.
100%, absolutely. Both of you guys have kind of worked now in really kind of quite a mixture when you look back on your filmographies across, period set movies, contemporary, and then the big kind of fantasy blockbuster type of films as well. I was wondering if you guys do have a preference for like a genre to work in, or?
I think for me, like, everything just depends so much on who's involved and what the story is. Like, I'm not sure there's a specific genre. I would like to do more light films, I think, and more comedies, and even more broad films, just because so much of what I've done has been very dramatic and serious and heavy. But I don't know that I would prefer it over drama.
For yourself too, Felicity?
Yeah, I find it's just what story takes you. I mean, that story can be set, it doesn't really matter in a funny way. It's sort of can be set anywhere in any time period. But if in that moment it's channeling something that you're thinking about, or moves you, or makes you laugh, or it's just you're looking for something that has some kind of humanity in it. And I think the genre doesn't necessarily matter. It's more that there's just something that sparks an interest.
Absolutely. I think I have time for one more question. So I suppose because this marks another book adaptation for both of you guys, having done a few in the past now, I was wondering what would be your own go-to books, or is there maybe, a classic novel that you'll always go back to and revisit?
For me, it's probably Henry and June by Anna Eastman. I go back to that novel a lot. I guess it's not really a novel, it's a journal.
Do you too, Felicity?
Yeah, I think I've always loved, one of my favorite books is A Room with a View, and I always feel guilty rereading books because I think there's so many books that I've got to move on. I've got to keep going. There's so many to get through, but that one I have found myself returning to, and it's quite a sort of short, quite accessible and easy read book, but it never fails to kind of have me gripped.
Absolutely. Well, I'll have to leave it there. I'm afraid I'm out of time, guys, but thank you both so much for taking out the time, and congratulations on the movie. Can't wait for everyone to see it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Dear Jane, please forgive this last letter.
An invitation to come away. I'll be waiting.